Good morning to all of you. Today we are going to discuss useless public interest litigations. You may be knowing during year 1980 or so, the then Chief Justice of India, Sri P.N. Bhagavati, he propounded the concept of public interest litigation, which enables a man, a common man, to approach the Supreme Court in the issues relating to the interest of public in general. So the principle of locus standi was totally eliminated with this. Previously, the person who has suffered, he has to file a petition. But with the advent of the public interest litigation, everybody and anybody can file a public interest litigation if it is in the interest of the society or if it is in the general interest of the common public. And the court is there to hear into the same. But now, the scenario has changed. Very recently, the Honorable CJI of India, Sri S.A. Bobde, also stated that the Supreme Court wanted to restrain the culture of Article 32 petitions, that is public interest litigations. And why? Because public interest litigations have become publicity interest litigations, and they are personal interest litigations. And also there are certain factories, pill factories also there, so they have to be controlled. Anyway, this is the second side of the public interest litigation, but definitely public interest litigation is good if it exposes the grievances of the general public or public in common or the common people. Very recently, Madras High Court, two judges bench, Justice Chandeep Banerjee and Madam Hemalata, they have dismissed the writ petition number 1306 by 2021 very recently, filed by Mr. Uma Maheshwaran. You can see this case as S. Uma Maheshwaran versus Union of India, whereas he made the Ministry of Information Technology and the social media platforms like YouTube and Facebook as the respondents. Right? He filed a petition under Article 226 of the Constitution of India with a request to the High Court to issue a writ of mandamus to all these people, right, to control the social media. So his request is the court has to take, or the central government has to take necessary steps to control the social media, or in other words, to censor the social media. Already you may be knowing, according to section 69 and 69A of the Information Technology Act, the center can intercept, can block certain the so-called channels also. But anyway, so since he has his request is of course it is a grievance definitely, but his request is that these things should be controlled by giving certain orders by the Honorable Madras High Court. So he also is requesting the Honorable High Court to invoke the extraordinary jurisdiction of the High Court under Article 226 of the Constitution of India. But after going through the petition, the High Court is of opinion that it will not entertain the bill. So it is not entertained, holding that actually it is for the center to control the social media channels or censorship, all these things. So the petitioner cannot ask the court to do the job of a censor board member. Secondly, the days are changed. So nowadays you cannot find a boy without going through or without looking into his cell phone, or most of them on an average. I came to know that Indians, they used to, the particular young generation, they used to spend 4.5 hours per day on this cell phone, maybe more than that also. What I do it is a technical development. It is, we are not in the Stone Age. So with the advent of technology, there will be benefits, there will be disadvantages. Of course, it is for the state, that means the central government, to control the so. And you all well know, so that the media or the channels or social media platforms which are called intermediaries, they are self-regulatory. You cannot fix boundaries. Of course, you can give directives or you can give certain directions, that's all. They should be self-regulated because they are called as the fourth estate, while we call as legislature, judiciary and the executive as first, second, third estate. Judiciary, the so-called press is the social media or channels. Press is the for a state. So it has got the self-regulation. So you cannot ask them to do it. And it is for the state to look into the matters and they can bring guidelines. You may be knowing very recently the central government has introduced the information technology rules also, wherein it has made compulsory to trace out the original person who sent the message to the intermediary. Like that they can give directions. Anyway, so they stated that the power is within the realm of the state policy, right? So the plaintiff can ask his family members, can control his family members not to see the so-called social media. He can guard his family from and controlling them not to see the social media, but it is not practicable nowadays. So let him be thinking that he is a stone age, let him remain in the stone age, and he can protect his family from the technology but not the others. So this is a useless petition and it was dismissed. Luckily no costs were imposed on this petitioner. To some extent he was lucky enough, otherwise. So here the main point is the press is self-regulatory and it is the duty of the state to formulate guidelines. If they are not in consonance with the constitution or consonance with the law, then the court will definitely interpret the same and say what is good and what is bad. But court cannot form the guidelines, right? This is the synopsis of this public interest litigation which has been declared as useless by the Madras High Court. Thank you.